Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm not going to discuss any particular section of Zoology or Botany syllabus, but I'm going to discuss something very important. The theme for this discussion is how to compile concepts and facts at one place to write an answer. The topic that I have taken here as an example is teratogenesis. Teratogenesis is a topic in developmental biology of Zoology optional paper 2. And there are two types of questions which are possible on teratogenesis. The first question that's possible on teratogenesis is a general open-ended question on teratogenesis. It mostly comes as a short note where the common title of the question will be write brief account of the following in about 200 words each, and then as one sub-part of the question, teratogenesis will be mentioned. Sometimes a properly worded question can be asked, give an account of teratogenesis, important teratogens, and their mechanism of action. Both of these questions have largely similar scope, but they are differently worded. The other type of question can be asked to you on the same topic is teratogens, the agents which cause teratogenesis, and within teratogen there are a few teratogens which attract the attention of the examiner as a standalone short note or at least as a separate tail of a query. If I recall an example, the thalidomide baby syndrome has been asked in the civil service main examination, and that is a specific type of teratogen, that's thalidomide, and the question was on teratogenesis and teratogen, and then as a tail thalidomide baby syndrome was asked to the candidates. So this illustration that I'm showing you here as a mind map, and don't worry, I'm going to enlarge it and then I'm going to discuss in detail, addresses the open-ended question on teratogenesis. So when you are compiling facts, concepts at one place from multiple sources, then what you have to first determine that what are going to be the dimensions of this answer, what are going to be the subheadings within this answer, and then you will try to populate each subheading with relevant facts, but certainly not overpacking it with too much detail, and certainly there is no scope of anything irrelevant either. Now, you also have to realize, and this is something important for me to declare, that when we are writing an answer, you will not be able to include all the concept and all the facts within a short note that you normally have acquired or you have normally gathered within your own notes. So in your notes, there will be some extra facts, some extra concepts which you may not be able to use in your actual answer, but your notes need to be a little more detailed, a little more enriched compared to what you are actually going to write. Therefore, you will find a few extra points here, and you never know when these extra points are going to serve you in the examination. So while making notes, you should be going a little above the requirement of the examination, so that even if you forget a few points or even if you are under pressure of time or space, you are at least writing things which are more enriched, more value packed compared to your competitors. And that is one of the certain ways of scoring better in a competitive examination like civil service main or IFS main. Now let us get into the topic, and now I am going to discuss individual parts of this answer in some detail. So here we go in the full screen mode, and then I will be enlarging it a bit. So first and foremost, let us get to check what are the dimensions we are going to deal. First and foremost, the central topic is teratogenesis. So one of the things that you will want to deal first, what is it, where you are going to define the term in your notes, and both the term teratogenesis and teratogens. Second part of your answer is going to be examples of teratogens, because after all, teratogenesis is brought about by teratogens. Then you will come to the functional part of teratogen, and there are two parts of teratogenesis. First, the timing of teratogenesis, so that is the third part of your answer, and then how teratogens act, that is going to be the fourth part of your answer. And fifth and last part of your answer is going to be the impact of teratogenesis. What I'm trying to say that if you are going to write a short note, you are very good with 5 dimensions, 5 subheadings within the general topic. Now let us see how have we included the facts and concepts. This is our note, and using this as a knowledge base, we will be able to write good answers. So see, what is a teratogen? That's what. So teratogen is a substance from outside the body that causes birth defects or malformations. Appreciate the brevity. I'm not wasting the words, and at the same time I have captured the central idea. And teratogenesis is a process that causes birth defects or malformations in an embryo or fetus. If you have studied your developmental biology carefully, you very well know what is the difference between embryo and fetus. And then there are 2 ways when such abnormalities arise. One of the way is genetic and other is some external agent. When there is a genetic cause, we call it malformations. So you have to be careful about the terms that you are using. And this is the advantage of reading from a good book. When you read this chapter from Developmental Biology by Gilbert, then only you will get to know that the birth defects are termed differently. Malformations when it is caused by genetic event. An example is given here, aniridia, which is because of mutation in PAX6 gene. Second example, Down syndrome, which is because of trisomy of chromosome 21. Both of these come under the category of malformations. So I guess this part you have understood. Second part is called disruptions. So disruptions are the birth defects which are caused by external agents, and the agents responsible for these disruptions are called teratogens. So teratogenesis is actually developmental disruption by exogenous agents, not by genetic events. And this is the definition given in all the medical developmental biology books and all the modern embryology books like the one given by Scott Gilbert. Now, the second dimension. So first dimension is good enough. Second dimension is examples of teratogens, and then various categories. In each category, you should be giving at least one example. At some places, you can give even 2 examples. So medicinal drugs, thalidomide, retinoic acid, valproic acid. Second, environmental toxin, for example, cadmium. Then alcohol, and alcohol causes fetal alcohol syndrome, which is the most common non-genetic cause of mental retardation. After that, certain pollutants, for example, pesticides and endocrine disrupting compounds like organic mercury compounds, polychlorinated biphenyl substances or PCB substances. Next one, certain infectious agents. Lot of examples. I'm not asking you to write all the examples. You can simply not fit it. But this is your personal notes. From here, you can remember a few examples and go and put it in the examination. Some of you might be wondering, why are we writing all these examples? It is entirely up to you, but I will always advise you to include a little more concepts and a little more facts in your notes, so that even if you forget or even if you are under pressure of time, space, still you are able to write a good answer substantiated with example. Because if in the UPSC main you are not substantiating with example, it actually sounds very hollow, very superficial, and if you go to the UPSC notification, it clearly says that marks will not be allotted to superficial treatment, and it also at one place says that the standard of the question will be of graduation honors level, which is a little higher than graduation degree and a little lower than post-graduation. So you cannot shy away from relevant facts of the subject. Refrain from overdoing it, but at the same time, don't shy from going into the subject with the needed depth. Coming back to other factors, physical compression in utero, poor diet is another factor. Ionizing agents, it includes even X-ray, which is a common diagnostic radiation, but that's why nowadays expecting women are not exposed to X-rays, and that is where ultrasonography comes to examine the health of the fetus. And hyperthermia, that is high temperature. You can just give all the categories, and in each category you can give some example. Then you come to the next part here, that is timing of the action. Here there are two principal factors. First principle is different organs have different critical periods. So different parts of the body are extremely vulnerable at specific times of the development. Example, the heart is extremely susceptible in the 3rd and 4th week. The external genitalia is sensitive in 8th and 9th week. And brain and skeleton are always sensitive beginning from week 3 to almost the end of pregnancy, or for that matter, even beyond. If I give you an example, one of the common food additive as a flavoring agent, that is monosodium glutamate, is actually not suitable to be given to kids up to 4 years of age at the minimum, because it really interferes with formation of the neuronal connection and proper development of the brain, not only in the fetus but even in very young kids. So that's one example. Therefore, it is mentioned that brain and skeleton are always sensitive. Then second principle is many teratogens act in a period also known as the critical period. And most critical period is between weeks 2 and 8 of embryonic development. And what's the reason? The reason is majority of the tissues are forming in this period. That's all. So 3 out of 5 facets of this answer are completed by you. And then we come to the 4th facet, that is how the teratogens act. There are 3 major methods by which the teratogens act, and the very first method is that teratogens actually interfere with migration of cells during morphogenesis. And one of the best example would be alcohol, which causes fetal alcohol syndrome primarily by interfering with the migration of the neural crest cells. Second, by affecting the expression of genes. Expression of genes is affected mostly by the teratogens. So this is the most common mode of teratogenic action, and retinoic acid is one of the very good examples. Sometimes some of the teratogens will be acting by interfering with morphogen signaling. Example, hyperthermia. And the last facet of your answer is, what are the impacts of teratogenesis? So obviously physical malformations, and physical malformations can lead to physical and physiological impairments. Sometimes as a secondary outcome or direct outcome, there will be behavioral or emotional development problem in the child. And third is, in some cases, there would be reduced chances of survival. So this is how you cover all the 5 dimensions of your answer. Now, If you see the entire outline, you would be appreciating two things. Number one, that no word has been wasted anywhere in making these notes. Only the most factual parts, only the most crux of the concept are included in this. So in your personal notes, try not wasting word. When you are dealing with concept, get the crux of it clearly. Second, if you are writing a fact, example, write it clearly, and that's all. Refrain from the urge, refrain from the tendency to explain each and every fact, because within the context of a short note, you are not going to get this opportunity to explain every single point. As a matter of fact, you cannot even reproduce all that we have done here. But important thing is that if you are organizing this much, even if you forget a few points or you are running short of time, still your answer will be much more substantive compared to most of your competitor, or I would say even 99% of your competitor. And that is the spirit you should always have while writing an answer, because every single answer, if it gives you 1 marks, 1.5 marks, 2 marks extra here and there, that finally adds to a very nice competitive advantage compared to rest of your peers. And in a fiercely competitive examination like civil service, it is this spirit that will sail you through. So I have given you one example. I hope you will find this example helpful, and I would expect that using this as an example, you should be preparing as many notes as you need to on each potential question of your subject, and then revise this thing. You would have realized that this entire stuff needs no more than 5 minutes to revise. This should be the state of every single potential question of your optional subject. Let us say that in your optional subject, there are altogether 600 potential questions. And if you have reduced each question to such a flowchart, such a mind map, this is for your quick recall. In your answer, actual answer of UPSC, you cannot write like this, but it gives you an excellent tool to revise, and then you can write in a little more formal structure, that is sentence, bulleted points and all that. So what I'm trying to say that if you have reduced every single question into short answer notes like this, then you can revise every question in 5 minutes. Let us say that you have got altogether 600 questions multiplied with 5 minutes. So you get 3000 minutes. Now, if you are talking about 3000 minutes, then all it requires is 50 hours to revise. What is 50 hours? If every day you are sitting for something like 5 hours with zoology revision, in 10 days time you are done. If you are sitting with even 2.5 hours, in 20 days time you are done. Even if you are sitting with 2 hours a day on zoology, in 25 days you will be able to revise every single potential question of zoology. That is the importance of making self notes, no matter what you are reading. If you are reading 2-3 different books to compile all the needed facts at one place, mind it, all of it what I have brought here is not from one book. I have taken help of 2 books. So you can depend on multiple books to prepare such answers, and of course include diagram where it is needed. In this topic there was no diagram needed, therefore I have not included. Or if you are depending on my study material to make your preparation, still you will need to make these kind of pithy, ready to revise, express revision notes, so that eventually your entire optional should be revisable in approximately 50 hours. If you do that, you will be able to revise multiple cycles, and then no one can stop you from exceeding 310, 320 a score in any single optional. One of the reasons why most of the candidates are actually unable to touch that score is that most of the candidates have not done this homework. I'm not saying all, but most of them. And this is exactly why, despite having the raw talent, many of us do not actualize our full potential. But I'm sure if you are watching this video, you will be striving very hard to actualize your full potential. And I hope in that journey, you find this video a small contribution in giving you some direction. I hope you found it helpful. Until we meet, I urge you to keep working consistently, and I will be coming with more such small videos helping you steer your preparation in the right direction. Till then, goodbye and good luck to all of you.